woman helped organize the March on Washington, and also was one of the main organizers, which she also helped organize the protest recently at the DTW, along with other organizers. I'm going to give her the mic and have her speak a few words for us. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, everybody, and thanks probably a lot of you for showing up at GTW. That was beautiful. So I'm going to focus on two things, kind of continuing this trend of specific tactics here, and I've broken it up into two sections, specific actions for everybody to take, and then we're going to kind of end on a dear white people sort of thing. I've been asked to talk about how to be a good ally, so we'll broach some of those topics. So first of all, I just want to have an overarching theme here that in all of our actions we need to be strategic. So much that is coming out of this administration and that is going to come is going to be incendiary and frankly ridiculous, but not all of it will be impactful. So I think that Trump actually gave us a perfect example of this morning at the National Prayer Breakfast, which sounds like you all are familiar with. So the dominant headline was him asking, for prayers for Arnold Schwarzenegger and the reviews of The Apprentice. Ridiculous. However, the important and threatening thing that also happened at this breakfast was that he promised to end the prohibition on church political activity. So this is being overshadowed by the more ridiculous and more headline-worthy Schwarzenegger dig, but we have to be able to sift through what is important and what is not. So I want that to kind of guide how we think about our actions. As you can probably tell from the makeup of our panel, most people believe that the best way to overturn this executive order is through legal action, and as I said, having to challenge it through the courts. So as far as if you're not a lawyer and you don't have the legal expertise, the best thing you can do at this point is to support these efforts going forward. That's either by bringing attention to it or by donating to organizations that are bringing incredible legal challenges. So that's the ACLU, CARE, a number of these organizations going forward. We've already talked about pressuring our legislators. It is very, very difficult for Congress to overturn isn't exactly the right word. It's very difficult for Congress to get rid of an executive order. It can be done, but it is a really steep uphill battle. But finally, I think making sure that we learn up and then speak up. There's a lot of misinformation and lies, and a lot of this is being fueled by fear. So we can think specifically about refugees. One of my favorite stats about refugees is that Americans are more likely to be struck by lightning multiple times than to be harmed by a resettled refugee. So these kinds of facts are helpful to have in your back pocket to try and combat a lot of the messaging that we're hearing, which can be deafening. And we cannot let alternative facts become an accepted narrative in this case. So making sure that you do your due diligence is a huge part of this. Okay, so moving on to the ally section. So the academic in me has to acknowledge that I think the word allies comes with a lot of baggage in some circles, but going to use it going forward anyways. Give a little grace on that for me. So there's two things that kind of dominate the suggestions here, and number one is listen. Don't try to talk over people. Hear them and their concerns, and take that all in. Have a lot of humility in this, and let them decide the dominant narrative. And finally, going along with that, it's important to amplify the voices of others, specifically those who come from traditionally marginalized communities. One of my least favorite phrases in activist circles is like to give voice to the voiceless. Nobody is voiceless, they're platformless. So using your privilege to amplify the voices of others is critical in this. And along those lines, making sure that when you are educating yourself and learning, that you are prioritizing voices of color, voices of the oppressed, so that you are understanding their experience, their emotions from their perspective, and you're not hearing it through a filter. I am running out of time. I want to make sure you guys have time for our questions. So finally, I kind of want to end on a relatively hopeful note. So resistance to Trump and this administration is going to be work, and it's going to be hard. Whether it is a function of this administration's incompetence or it is in fact a calculated strategy, it is easy to become confused and overwhelmed. But the good news is that sustained strategic resistance can and has toppled even more oppressive regimes than this. And I think that the story of the DPW protest just kind of serves to illustrate the fact that we are very powerful in collaboration. I met Sumaya and Fatima on Facebook, and we organized the protest in less than 24 hours, and everybody showed up. Partnerships, that's the power of people, and it's the power of community. And so having to harness that energy going forward and keep that sustained focus, I think we will be able to affect change.